I'm Siobhan Wright, and a professor of English at Carroll Community College. And this module is about essay writing, and it's based on Harvard College's Writing Center webpage called How to Strategies for Writing an Essay. It's right there. And I highly recommend that you visit this source on your own throughout the semester and anytime that you need some reminders on essay writing techniques. Okay, English 101 assignments ask you to generate original content, and original ideas, after considering a variety of viewpoints and after reading other essays and information, or maybe watching videos. In other words, we want you to think independently and maturely and not simply echo our point of view as your professors. You want to use good sources and develop your point of view. What do you look for in an assignment sheet? This is very important. I'm going to bring up an assignment sheet as my example. Okay, this is just an example. You are not being asked to respond to this. Here are 3 things I want you to look for in your assignment sheet. 3 components. What must you read or do before writing the essay? 2, what is the minimum length? Is there a maximum length? And 3, what modes of writing, like definition or narrative, are emphasized in the assignment sheet? All right, just some common mistakes. You want to avoid getting off track. So an assignment sheet might give you a word like neighbors that makes you sort of riff about the neighbors for a little while without ever answering the actual assignment. So make sure you don't get off track. 2, avoid making assumptions that are not supported. Now, some of those assumptions might begin with words like everyone, or a statement, everyone knows, when indeed maybe everyone doesn't know that. You want to avoid stating information without demonstrating its integrity. So this happens with more analytical essays. Just because you say it doesn't make it true. Put another way, you want to show readers and not just tell them that something is true. And 4, you want to avoid forgetting to document any sources that you have paraphrased, summarized, or quoted in responding to the essay prompt. Okay, so we're going to begin with an example essay prompt, and we're going to read through it, and we're going to look for the key action words. What are you supposed to do in this essay in terms of writing? Here are key words to think about. Listen for the agree, analyze, compare, convince, debate, define, develop, describe, discuss, examine, explore. Whatever the action word is, you want to make sure you do that thing. All right, so they're action writing words. Let us consider the following short essay prompt or assignment. It's called the Good Neighbors Essay. Read and listen to The Art of Being a Neighbor by Eve Birch from the This I Believe program on National Public Radio, which you can find here, and there's a link. Consider your experiences with neighborliness. Narrate an experience that illustrates the value of a good neighbor. You may have good neighbors or poor ones. Neighbors do not have to be perfect to help us understand the concept of a good neighbor. Your essay must have a central focus and make a point that does not simply echo the language of the assignment sheet. I can't tell you how important this is. The point should not be generic or cliche, the point that you make about neighbors. The point should emerge from an experience that you share in writing, so your essay will include an experience that illustrates a point that you come to make about neighborliness. Narrate at least one scene involving neighbors that you will then discuss in your essay. Your essay should be between 500 and 750 words. Essays that fall short of 500 words will not meet the minimum requirement for a C. Additionally, your essay should have no fewer than 5 paragraphs. Your conclusion should include a lasting thought. The essay must be formatted according to MLA style guidelines. That's the assignment. All right, so you're being asked to respond to this particular essay, and you could listen to it. It's a 5-minute listen. It's also given to you in written text. So you would be expected to read and listen to this. I hope that you do. And you're being asked to document your essay according to MLA guidelines. Those are in your handbook, but if for any reason this language is new to you, I want you to go to OWL at Purdue, and you will find an example of different formatting styles, MLA being the most common in humanities classes, and it will give you an example and all of the formatting guidelines, including what to do on the first page. Essays in MLA style do not have cover sheets like you might have seen in other projects that you've done in schooling before. Okay, so now that I've shown you some of those basics, let's go back to the assignment sheet itself. And I want to find some of the words that are important. So here is what you are supposed to do before you even get started. Make sure you do that background information, listen to the essay, and then consider your experiences. And here are some keywords: narrate an experience that illustrates the value of a good neighbor. You may have a good neighbor or a poor one. Neighbors do not have to be perfect. All right, so your essay, more directions. It must have a central focus and make a point that does not simply echo the language of the assignment. To give you an example, it is important to be a good neighbor. Well, is it? That's just echoing the assignment. We're making an assumption. You want to make this your own. You also want to avoid a cliche. The cliche might be, good neighbors are worth their weight in gold. You know, we've heard that before. We've heard the weight in gold, worth their weight in gold. Avoid the cliche. It's not interesting. A good thesis statement should be surprising. So let's try. Good neighbors use their voices to connect with each other. Okay, hopefully now what's following is a story about neighbors. This point maybe emerges from an experience that the writer has had. There is another lesson coming up on thesis statements, and it's in this module. So all I want to say about a good thesis statement is that it's a little bit surprising and refreshing to read. It also demands to be supported and developed. It is not a bumper sticker. It is not a meme. All right, so the personal story in this assignment must illustrate the point, right? You're not telling a story just to tell the story. You're telling a story to make a point. All right, and so we're showing and we're not telling. All right, next, the length requirement is very specific, 500 to 750 words. It can be no shorter than 500 words and 5 paragraphs, 500 words and 5 paragraphs. And the guidance is for 750 words. Now, I say that there's no penalty, apparently, for 750 words or beyond. So maybe you can go longer. If you're in doubt, you should ask your professor, because your professor will answer any clarifying information about the assignment sheet, and very gladly. So, in closing, remember, study your assignment sheet in college. Right? Make sure you are fulfilling the expectations. Highlight the expectations for yourself. Make little notations in the margins of the assignment sheet. Throughout the writing process, reread the assignment sheet to make sure that you are not getting off track, that you're not going way over word count and beyond the parameters of the assignment, or that you're falling short of the parameters of the assignment. All right. Good luck to you, and you can move on to your next course lesson.